Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Water Tower Podcast, episode number 12. Number 1 to the motherfucking 2. Here we are, Jay. Jay Yoder, by the way. Nick Milan, your host for this wonderful show. Follow us on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Grindr.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can find the Water Tower Podcast. So don't forget to subscribe. And episode number 12, let's get this thing started, Jay. I think I need to pop my beer.
Oh.
But I don't have a bottle opener.
Hold up, bro. Hold up. There you go, bro. There, I got you. Might taste like dirt, but it's good, bro.
Hey.
Reef Sandals. Big shout out to Reef Sandals. They hooked us up with these for free. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a $60 tax, but they're definitely free.
Right. Okay, we stole them. Fuck, you got us.
But
yeah, that wasn't staged at all, by the way.
Cheers, my friend. Yeah, totally real.
But soon, maybe we'll have some fucking sponsors, Jay. What do you think?
You know, Joe Rogan started with the fleshlight. Let's bring it back, bro. Let's bring the fleshlight back.
Fleshlight?
You know what the fleshlight? Fleshlight.
Fleshlight, no.
Well, the fleshlight, I've never used one, but I thought about it. I was just too embarrassed about getting it shipped to my house. It looks like a flash, like a big ass flashlight, like a thick flashlight. And then you unscrew the top of it, and it has a few attachments you can put on top, a vagina, an asshole, or whatever, and then you basically fuck it. And Joe Rogan, that was like the only people that used to sponsor Joe Rogan back in the day, and everyone would be all tripped out by it, like, fleshlight. They're the only ones that would, you know, because he wasn't Joe Rogan awesome as we know him today, but like, it would just be laying around the table. And
so we gotta go hit up a porn shop.
Mm-hmm. I guess so.
Pretty much. God damn it. I never knew about that, but I did see you post Joe Rogan's second episode or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So I used to watch Joe Rogan's videos from back in the day. I think it started around 9 or 10, and then I went back and watched all of them back then because I'm a crazy guy like that. But, yeah, watch the old Joe Rogans just to have some confidence in our production skills because, damn, you know, like, he jumped up a lot because he had some money. But, like, yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they were pretty fucking bad. It looked like he used like a webcam.
He did. He was on, what was it, like Justin TV, I think at first. I might be wrong. But it was like this streaming service way back in the day. And this was what, like 2000, 2006 or something. And speaking of Joe Rogan, hey, trying to cancel Joe Rogan. What the fuck?
You know what? I didn't even hear about that until you told me. So enlighten me. All
right. So what episode was it? It was one of the episode 20 or something. I don't remember, but it was like a good 10 years ago. And
yeah, he's on episode 1400 something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that must have been a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And it was Joey Diaz, his friend, the guy he would bring on the road, who was at the time. Joey Diaz, Uncle Joey's in trouble. So Joey's the problem. And of course it is. You know, we live in this, I was just saying before we started the podcast, we live in this white suburbia fucking controlled fucking Hollywood wannabe world. It's just, it's artificial. It's fake. So anyways, Joey Diaz was on coke a lot back then. He's a family man now. He's a little baby, like trying to get everything in line, but he would not show up to shows. Joe Rogan would bang on his door. Joe Rogan used to be anti-drug and weed, but loved this guy because he was such raw. And Joe Rogan he still says the funniest human on planet Earth. And
hey, he's a funny motherfucker.
Talked about getting some blowjobs, get some girls up on the stage, and apparently he never had that power. But
Joey Diaz did.
Joey Diaz, okay. Said he did about 20 girls, and actually I got the clip if you'd like to hear it.
Let's check it out.
Check it out.
You're sucking my dick and giving me coke from Chewy. You think I'm fucking kidding you? Fuck yeah, you gotta suck my dick to get up in the belly room. I'll make a call. That's the fucking gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them. I had this little blonde open mic.
What the fuck what's wrong with that?
So, you know, like the Harvey Weinstein thing, the Louis, do you know about Louis C.K. as well? Mm-mm. Big, about a year or two ago, Bill Cosby, you know about Bill Cosby?
Right.
Okay. So, started, you know, Harvey Weinstein probably started with him, and then Jeffrey Epstein is the real big ones, but Weinstein would use his power and success to pressure women or secretaries or people trying to make it, especially in the industry, up-and-coming actresses.
Right.
To, you know, he'd have them come up to his hotel room for a meeting, and he'd be naked in the shower and pressure them, basically, to have sex with him for a role in a movie or whatever.
Okay.
So they're saying it's Joey Diaz, but it's mainly, let's be honest, they're going after Joe Rogan here. So Joey's just the one that's the connection. So because he's easy.
What the fuck are they trying to do? What's going on?
He's talking about a girl that he would have girls give him a blowjob, and the complete episode is basically like a girl gives him a blowjob to get up on stage at the Belly Room, which is the Comedy Store in L.A. The Comedy Store is one of the biggest legendary comedy stories, historic comedy place ever in L.A. That's where they all go. That's where you want to be. Okay. And the Belly Room, they have 3 rooms, but Belly Room's one of them, and he would have this young blonde chick and apparently 19 others give him a head or whatever to get on stage. Now, he was doing coke and talking about, like, just get his dick sucked and do coke out of prison. He was in prison for kidnapping. He's a crazy motherfucker. Right. So anyways, yeah, so they're trying to go after him, and they're trying to go after Joe for laughing.
Who's trying to go after him?
The PC culture, probably the far left, the people that usually try to get people fired and whatever else because they just are complaining about something. But you know what? It is fucked up. It does seem fucked up. Like I read a LA Times article about Chris D'Elia, which is another comedian that's in trouble. His is a little more guilty, I think. I don't know. I kind of think they're running a little. They're running it a little too crazy, but he's in TV shows, so he's fucked.
So they're going after comics right now.
Yeah, they're going after comics, and but yeah, Joey Diaz just basically that was it. And a lot of people back in the day were like, Joey's doing coke, and he was hanging out with chicks doing coke, and they were fucking, and he didn't even have that power. He might have said he did and used it for his advantage, but like those girls, no one put a gun to their head, and I think that's what we forget. Girls have rights, and but I'm pressured to be famous. I've been pressured. I worked at a gay bar. I call it Not So Straight Bar, the Mint Karaoke Bar in San Francisco.
Shout out.
Hey, and it was a half gay employees, half straight. It was a gay bar that converted into anyone's welcome, but mostly gay. Gay in the day, straight at night. It's opposite of your lifestyle, my friend.
Interesting. Yes, it is.
But it's like, so you don't think I got propositioned all the fucking time by gay men?
Well,
but
you are fucking handsome, Jay.
Thank you, sir. Are you propositioning me right now? But it's so like that's the environment. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I never sucked anyone's dick or did anything creepy, like because I'm not gonna do that. I don't give a fuck. I got offered tons of money.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
and I think you have a fair point, man. You know what I think about that a lot, and obviously we're not women, so we don't really know what goes on, but. They probably get hit on so much more than we do. I mean, they got to have thick skin for sure.
Yeah, and working there helped me realize, honestly, I felt like, oh, this is what it's like to be a woman because, like, literally you walk in and you can't even eat your fucking burrito without, like, eyes on you. And it's like, fuck, I can feel like I'm being watched. It sucks. And, like, it's awesome. Gross, especially, like, me, I'm straight, but honestly, I had a college degree. I was going through a rough time in life, a rough breakup. Got left with all the bills. I was on unemployment. I sold my car before that to move to Europe. I had to move back.
So you were already vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. Ended up trying to go to San Francisco. My cousin hooked me up with a job as a bar back and a door guy. Not bareback, bar back. But not even. And then I became bartender. But like
this is getting weird.
Yeah, but I was desperate for like trying to figure out. I was thinking, should I go back to college? I was applying for jobs in my business degree. No one wanted to fuck with a Fresno State boy. But like, people, oh, you got a degree and you work here? Oh, I work at this company. Like tech guys. That's when I first met the tech people. And oh, dude, propositioned all the fucking time. And you know what I always said? Nope. I'm good. I'll do it on my own. I'll use my talents on my own. 4.5 years of that, dude.
So, first, dude, who the fuck doesn't do that? What celebrity do you know doesn't fuck groupies or take people in the green room or, you know what I mean? Like, seriously? Come on.
Well, it's so we actually had a conversation last night or 2 nights ago about rape. We're talking about Trump, and you're like, Trump's a rapist. And I was like, whoa. What do you mean he's a rapist? But like, and then it ended up like, he said these bad things about women. I'm like, well, that's a lot different than rape. Rape's a huge accusation that could ruin a life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think I was just spewing a bunch of negative shit about Trump and that just spewed out. But who knows? I mean, dude, rubbing shoulders with Epstein, being on his island and getting quoted as saying, he likes the same type of girls I do.
I don't think he was on the island.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But there's, apparently Yeah, he did have that quote in that documentary we discussed. That's creepy as fuck. And we know he likes young women. But let's be honest. Let's be real. Have you ever looked at a girl not knowing her age and then you're like, you look at her face, go, oh, she looks young. Holy fuck.
Oh, for sure.
We're men.
Oh,
and I
sure.
guarantee women look at young dudes too. So why are we playing like this isn't real? Now, I'm not saying it's right. Chris D'Elia it's crossing the line, But Joey Diaz just talking about, dude, I worked at bars. Everyone's fucking everyone. There's no rape.
Right.
There are few people might cry rape when they're broke or need a favor or need a job. But like, dude, I'm sure, I know rape happens. But I don't think rape, what they used to say in 2015, 1 in 5 college girls get raped.
Yeah, right.
But then it turned out if a guy's drunk and a girl's drunk in college and they fuck, that's possibly rape, or it's like, what?
It's a fine line. It's a fine that is very, very touchy for fuck on so many levels, But I think it is a fine line because I remember, you had to go through like 3 hours of that training during college. You had to watch all those videos and before the semester started. And
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's just like sex harassment and how to avoid it, what to do about it, call it out when you see it.
In college?
Yeah, in college, here at Sac State.
I never dealt with that in San Francisco or Fresno.
No?
Or COS.
It might have been newer.
Jobs. I had jobs where I had to watch those videos.
No, yeah, this was every time you had a new semester, you had to retake this online course.
So
Yeah.
Sac's pretty left, huh? Sac State.
Well, I guess, would you call that left?
Most college states. I don't know. It's
I would
not
say
hurtful.
it's definitely good to know about. What do people do in college? Get drunk and fucked up and do stupid ass shit, right?
Yeah.
And I agree. There are people that just use that rape word to their advantage, and that's unfortunate, but who is anybody to say whether they're right or wrong, right? All you got to do is take their word for it, and hopefully they're telling the truth. If they're not, well, whatever. If they are, well, then this is a pretty fucking serious matter, and I've had situations too, not personally, but I've known people that like, yeah, well, maybe not. And it's a fucking fine line, man, and it's hard to tell what is the truth and what's not, right? And again, just got to take someone's word for it. But going back to, Trump and just, I think the point you're trying to get at, and this is what we were talking about the other day, was who doesn't do that, right? I mean, Trump says this stuff and he is who he is, but who isn't, right? All these celebrities, and same with Joey Diaz, right? Oh, he bring 20 girls on stage and promised them a career.
He wasn't even famous back then.
Yeah, right. I mean,
nobody.
Who, seriously, that happens every fucking day, I'm sure.
Well, he wasn't a nobody. He was an opening for Rogan. That's something, I guess. But he definitely wasn't known, but like, at least in the wider circle of the world, but comedy world. But it's, man, working in the bar industry, dude, trust me, I've met girls that would fucking do things for a beer.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
So it's hard for me, and I read an article today, LA Times, one of these left articles, and it was like, it's time to just believe women. I'm like, what? Then every man's going to jail if they piss them off. What do you mean? Just blanket believe them? That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to almost disagree, but I see where you're getting at, because there's a fine line though. Because if you don't believe them, let's say someone says, "Oh yeah, I was raped," and it's like, I don't know if I can believe you. But they were brutally, and I mean, you can't even imagine what that's like. That's PTSD. That shit lives with you for the rest of your life. I mean, you can't even imagine what someone like that has experienced, something like that, has to live through for the rest of their life. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the benefit of the doubt, and if they're lying, then fuck, that's on their conscience, not mine.
Yeah, but someone's life's gonna get ruined. They're gonna go to jail. Well, so just believe women is a dumb, in my opinion, sorry to disagree, is a dumb fucking statement. The right statement is, check the evidence.
Oh, of course. Of course. You have to check the
evidence. You want
evidence.
Salem witch hunt out here?
No. Oh, dude, for sure. That's the beauty of the way we're supposed to run our system, right? You fucking check the evidence. You run the evidence. If someone's lying, then the girl should go to jail, right?
Amen.
I truly feel that way, because you can't fuck up somebody's life. Unfortunately, sometimes there's no evidence. Someone will go to jail for, hopefully, something they didn't do wrong, but that shit happens every fucking day too.
Hey, I know a woman who we believed in history.
Monica Lewinsky?
No, I don't believe that bitch. No, I don't. But she was down. You got me on. But Emmett Till, the lady that said he whistled at her or whatever. Emmett Till years ago, and they dragged this poor, 13? I don't know how old he was.
Yeah,
13,
young kid,
14.
man.
This poor black kid and drag. I think that you can't even recognize the open casket was. You can't even recognize him. It's horrific. And she lived her whole life, and then about in her 60s or getting up there, she admitted it was all a lie. So believe women. No, men lie, women lie. Have you ever met a crazy have you ever dated a crazy girl? I know we all have. So it's okay, but like that should scare you.
Well, you know what? That's a great example, Jay. And I mean, there's so much more to that, obviously. I mean, they're looking for a reason to fucking do that to black folks back then anyways. So any little thing triggered a fucking gruesome act like that. But I mean, yeah, to the point, that's exactly what happened.
I knew, okay, let's tell a story. We knew someone that we grew up with. Let's call him, but he had this girl he was dating, and I remember him telling me, like, yo, this chick, she's, like, we're at her friend's house, this was years ago, but something like, we're at her friend's house partying, and we got a little disagreement, and she, like, threw herself against the wall or the ground, and was like, and pushed me in front of all her friends. And I was, a logical kid back then going to college, like, okay, you break up with her. Get the fuck away from that unless you want to go to jail. Well, I don't think he was very logical at the time because he brought her to my apartment to a party one night. And so I had a roommate who became a correction officer, so he made us smoke in this little bathroom. So all of us piled in. It's like, me, my cousin, and this girl he's dating. And we're smoking, and we're all kind of like looking because we had a radio in there. This is funny. College kids in a bathroom. And she literally, I turned to go out of the bathroom, so I was the only one facing her, and I saw her throw herself hard on the bathtub, her head, neck, shoulder, and I was like, and everyone turned, like, what the fuck happened? She's like, I don't know what she said, but she was insinuating that and pushed her. And I'm like, well, no. And we're all stoned, but like, come on, I'm not dumb. I'm like, what the fuck? So then the CO bangs on the door. What the fuck happened? She's like, he pushed me home. And fuck. So, yeah, it goes both ways, my friend. So it's hard. You just don't believe men. You just don't believe women. Women are, men can rape women obviously way easier than vice versa. But it's, I don't know. It's just that blank statement is going to ruin a lot of lives that shouldn't be ruined.
Well, that's that is a blank statement, and that's the problem with headlines, right? And you give a headline like something like that, and people don't read articles. They'll read a headline like that and just insinuate a bunch of crazy shit. But obviously, evidence is fucking key, man. And there's a lot of ways to do evidence nowadays. I mean, there's so many fucking ways to gather evidence. It's so sophisticated now with DNA testing and follicle testing, all kinds of shit. So, it's one of those things, right? It brings me back to defunding the police, right? Let's take away their fucking grenade launchers and fucking tanks, and let's get some fucking real investigators in there to investigate shit like this.
They have grenade launchers?
Fuck yeah.
Do they?
Dude, I read an article.
I'd be surprised, but
there was fucking school cops that had grenade launchers. In a fucking school.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Fucking nuts.
But, yeah, well, it's funny because, so they're going after Joe Rogan because he laughed. But even the third guy, do you notice the third guy in that clip? That's Red Band. So Red Band was the sound guy for Joe Rogan for years until Jamie took over. So the guy that Googles everything and does the audio.
The one that we need.
Yeah, the one we need a Jamie. But, he has a podcast called Brothers in Cursive with William Montgomery and David Lucas. It's great, up and coming podcast. Got these two opposite guys who are just young comedians, but it's just funny. And but he runs the sound for him and also talks. But they asked him about it, like, "Oh, were you in that clip?" And he's like, yeah, people are coming after me, and I sat there with a blank face. Like, he didn't have any emotion. Right. He was just like, I think he was trying to get their attention for something else. And it was like, he's like, yeah, they're even coming after me because I should have said something. It's like, oh, God.
Come on, man.
Get a life.
Well, and dude, seriously, this is the type of shit that brings me back to Edward Snowden's book. We skipped a few episodes, but now we're back
to Snowden.
Back to Snowden. Right, permanent record. Yeah, permanent record, dude. That's exactly what it's about, right? Whatever you put for people to see in the world will live there forever. So that way, when they need to use it to their advantage to demonize you and to bring you down and to bring everyone around you down, that shit will pop back up and they will fucking use their PR stunts to put that shit in the world like you wouldn't believe. And here we are with this crazy fucking PR stunt.
You know what Epstein used to do? He used to blackmail people. He used to invite people in his home and do funky shit and then blackmail them for the rest of their lives to get what he wanted. Mm-hmm. They're blackmailing comedians and celebrities for stuff they said 10 years ago. Kevin Hart wasn't able to speak out at the Grammys or I don't know, one of those stupid shows. Because of a tweet, an anti-gay tweet, and it was like a joke.
Oh, really?
I think he said, if I ever found out my son was gay, I would hit him over the head with the dollhouse.
I've seen that.
Something like that.
That's right.
Funny, but he's a comedian.
Right.
In different times. So what about that? Do you have an excuse for being in a different time? Because it almost feels like the 90s were a different dimension, right?
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, there was. And I would tie that with, is it an excuse to being a comedian, right? Because it's like that puppet, right? That I think it was Eminem talked about that, right? Or he had a song about that. This puppet, I forgot what show it was, but the puppet could say
Crankers or whatever.
Something like that. And it could say whatever the fuck it wants because it's a talking fucking doll, right? And it talks all kinds of shit. But it's like, can it? Because someone is saying that shit. Someone has their hand in that doll, obviously. So are comedians on another level where they just don't have any barriers or there's no line or no rope to cross?
Well, they're the most free, and I think that's why Joe Rogan's being attacked in a loose way for laughing at something someone else said. I'm sure there's much more they could pull up on Joe Rogan, but
right.
Lenny Bruce, I was trying to think of his name a couple episodes ago about talking about old comedians. Lenny Bruce was, I don't know what year it was, 40s, 30s, out of 50s, but Joey Diaz went on live to address this, and I love Joey Diaz because he's like, fuck you motherfuckers, let me tell you about my life, because I don't come from suburbia, he fucking, I believed he was born in Cuba but came over, but what happened was his aunt was raped by an older man, pedophile in Cuba, and the mom got a knife and stabbed him and killed him, had to flee Cuba because of that. And he said, that's what you do with motherfuckers. So don't say I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So, and then he also apologized. He's like, I was a different guy. I've grown. That was years ago. And he goes, what about the guy I stabbed? What about the guy I kidnapped and went to prison for? You guys don't give a fuck about those guys, do you?
Right.
You care about some girl who I was already fucking and gave me a blowjob. So it's obviously this PC culture going for certain things, and it's just a lot of...
That's exactly what it is, man.
Are humans allowed to improve? Should we keep prisoners in prisons forever?
Right?
No, there's a journey in life to hopefully be a better person. Now,
it is.
If you're a Weinstein, Epstein, fuck no.
Yeah, that's a different story.
You don't want to be a better person.
Well, and that's fucking great point, Jay, because I'm glad that Joey Diaz brought up those other things because it's so fucking true, man. I was fucking young, who doesn't do stupid shit when they're young? Who doesn't get drunk and fucking party and have a bunch of crazy fucking weird experiences when they're young, right? Leave them the fuck alone, dude. Leave Joe Rogan alone. Leave Joey Diaz alone. Go fucking tackle the real motherfuckers that are destroying this fucking country, destroying the world. I mean, sex rings, child rings, fucking... It's fucking disgusting. It's a disgusting world. Do the investigation on those motherfuckers.
Half these motherfuckers, the people are going after Joey Diaz. Half these motherfuckers, the people they vote for are the disgusting creatures that they should be going after. Whether right or left, you're going after Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan, these positive influences in life.
Right?
Are you crazy? Yeah, they fucked up. Guess what? I fucked up too. I didn't have a strong father role model growing up. He was in a different town and had a stepdad that was a bit abusive. And I was hanging out with friends getting drunk with you, Nick, and all of us. And those were my role models, my 15, 14-year-old dudes. And I made a bunch of mistakes. I never fucking raped anyone. But, we're dumb kids, trying to break into Mini March and just doing stupid shit that I totally regret nowadays. Completely different human. Completely different.
And that we can go so many, we could go down so many rabbit holes with that conversation alone. It's like, are we here to tell the story, right? It's not like we never had encounters with police, right? Good thing we never got shot, right, or killed, or, good thing we weren't part of a statistic. And, yeah, fuck, dude, everybody does it, man. And fuck, man, it hurts me. And I was just thinking about this the other day, like, you with all this, stuff going on and police brutality and the militarization of the police and just the way the government's being ran, it's fucked up, man. And you get angry, right? The protests are happening and you kind of build up a little bit of rage and you kind of get angry. But now I think I'm at a point where I'm just sad. Like I'm just like, God damn, like what the fuck is happening?
It's a defeating feeling, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. Right. But dude, we all have to grow up, right? Even with my kids, I have to think about that all the time, right? It's like, I can tell them what to do, what not to do. They're going to go do their own thing, man. They have friends. They're going to go do their own thing. They're going to do stupid shit, just like I did stupid shit. Hopefully not as crazy. But you just got to let the things fucking pan out, man, the way they're going to pan out.
Yeah, and hopefully you could spread some knowledge and be an example for them. But it's also, did you hear about Chris D'Elia?
I don't know who that is.
So Chris D'Elia is a comedian. I think he's some like director's son. I think he was like a rich kid, but he's a very funny guy. But he's been in a lot of shows and movies, and you'd probably recognize him, I'm not sure, but very popular in the comedy scene. And, been around for a few years. Funny fucking guy. Does a lot of podcasts I listen to, and I get excited when he's a guest on a podcast because he's hilarious.
Okay.
He's just a silly goofball. Well, he is canceled. He got dropped by CAA, I believe it is. Was it ACC? I don't know. One of those. CAA, which is like a big time. They like give actor. You want to get signed with them if you're an actor, basically. They get you work. They're like the best. And then he also got dropped by his management company. I forget their name, but he apparently was hitting up younger girls below 18 on the road, like just randomly putting DMs in them after looking at their pictures and trying to meet up with them. Apparently, he never met up with them, and the evidence, I was trying to find some. They're running with it already, but there's not much evidence. There is like some screenshots of text messages or emails that seem to be him. Like I'm pretty sure they're him because they all match. But there's like one where he's hitting up a girl. He's like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "I'm 17." And he's like, "Oh, too young for me." And then like a year later, he hits her up. I think I could have that wrong, but it's funny. And then like apparently there's a 16-year-old he hit up. None of them say that they hooked up with them. The only ones that are complaining about hooking up with him are over 18, like a 21, 22-year-old girl is like,
of course.
He tried to get me drunk at his hotel bar, and I just went there because I was having a bad day, and he was trying to take advantage of me. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Right?
You met him at his hotel bar because you had a bad day, so you're okay because you had a bad day. You're allowed to make a stupid decision and get away with it. Like, so there's a stretch there, but I was reading an article, another LA Times. I gotta stop reading LA Times. So another article, and it was like, I was going down it. I shouldn't, Nick. But anyways, I don't know enough about them, but I assume I know what I'm going to get when I read them. But I go down, and it's talking about this girl, and she was I think they said 16 or 17 or 18, like 16, I think it was to start with. And then as I'm reading it, then there's a little like new blurb they put in there was like, since this article came out, we had confirmation that she was actually 19. And her two friends were 20 and 21. Like, okay. And then the article continues. So anyways, he took this young girl and watched her pictures. I'm like, well, no, the article needs to be taken down now.
Right.
Because he did nothing illegal.
Well, I mean, it can be taken down, but as you know, and I know,
why not?
That's what news organizations do.
But why can't it be taken down?
Because what are they going to take it down for?
You're a journalist, right?
Their job is to put a spin on it to make you talk shit and talk about it on your podcast.
No, that's not what journalism's supposed to be.
No, that's not what it's supposed to be, but that's what it is nowadays. It's clickbait.
That's not right.
And so if that same article was on a right newspaper, they would use it they would use the same facts, quotes, information and spin it a whole different way. So I'm not saying that it's right, but I would say that if there was any evidence of him messaging anybody that he knew was underage, even one time, that's enough for me to call him a piece of shit and do some time and maybe go through some counseling and all that shit.
So you think he should do some time for messaging an underage girl?
Fuck yeah.
Even though he said, "Oh, you're too young," and then he hit her up a year
later.
Well,
see, that's the thing, 18. Right? If that's the case, then no, right? If he is smart enough to say, "Oh no, back off on that," right? Because yeah, to be honest, dude, there's some good-looking young women, and it's sad to see, as I coach volleyball for women's team in junior high school and even in 12-year-olds, right? And there's kids that develop quickly, man. And I think all the time, like, man, I have a daughter, she's 12 years old, going on 13 years old. And it's like, man, she's developing, and I'm seeing like, geez, as a man, it's scary, right? Because you know what's out there, right? I know how I was as a kid, and I know how the world works, and it's just a scary situation. So you would hope that they had every opportunity not to be in part of something like that. So if one scumbag is reaching out to some young girls, that's enough for me to say, that dude.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I was saying earlier, he's the guy who crossed the line, like compared to Joey Diaz. Like maybe Joey Diaz did, but he crossed the line. Like you don't fuck with minors and old people.
No, you
like,
fucking don't.
You just don't. And I think he's being creepy and creepy. Do I think he is a bad guy? I think he's fucked up and probably needs to maybe some therapy or something. But should he die and he might be in prison later? I don't know, but I don't know. It just seems like again, the evidence, people are just like, good enough, later, let's run this article.
Right, and that it has to come down to evidence. It truly does, man. And again, Joey Diaz's situation is way different. These are adults. They're partying. They're getting drunk. They're doing cocaine.
Yeah.
They know what the fuck they're doing, and they know what the outcome can be. And I'm not saying that certain things happen that shouldn't happen, but when you're in that situation, you know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah, you know what you're doing, and especially with social media, like it's one thing like back in the day when like I don't know, our grandparents, when it's like, oh, they probably got away with it, but it's like, oh, there's a younger girl there, and like, oh, and I think my grandpa like married my grandma. She was like 16, and he was like 17 or like, you know, they got married young, but like back then it's like, oh, I have to actually go to her house, pick her up. There's all these decisions you have to make to make that crime happen. Where now it's as little as like, just sending a friendly message. Like your brain can start lying to you, and it's like, no, bitch, like you can't do that. Yeah. Hell, even our podcast, our Instagram, been getting a lot of people liking our shit and following our shit. And we usually try to follow them back. And there was like 500 on one of our posts, I think, right? Like or 200 or 500. I don't know. There's like 2 different posts going on, and I was just following, and I was like, wait. And it was like, this kid looks fucking, wait. So I click on his profile, like, this motherfucker's in high school. Why the fuck is he? Because we only target 25 to 35-year-olds. Right. We don't target anyone younger than that, 25.
Well, that's the scary thing about social media, right? And all these platforms, man. You know, I remember a friend in high school saying that his sister was going to, had planned on meeting a guy, you know, that she met online, and, it's like, dude, what the fuck? That's fucking scary, bro. And I have to talk to my kids all the time about that shit. Like,
I know some family members that did that shit, like at 16, 17, going down to LA from the Valley. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's a fucking trip, man. There's fucking creepers out there, man.
And women, I love you, but young women scare me because they're, not all of them, but so easily manipulated.
Oh, right. Well, they're kids.
That love word just, fuck, they think they're like, it's forever. I don't know. Like, I literally seen cousins, and I'm scared of my niece who's about 12, 13. Like, oh my God, I'm terrified because I remember those girls. You know, I was a pretty shy kid, so I didn't really have to deal with a lot of that. But like, I remember these girls like, oh no, we're in love. That's all they wanted to talk about was being in love with this dude who I'm like, the dude's got a different perspective. He's trying to get laid and tell his friends and brag. Oh, right. Not all the time, but 90%, I would say.
Sure, yeah. And you know what? That's... You're a product of your environment, I think. I truly believe in that, right? So if you're in a household where you're not getting the attention you need, you know, maybe you don't have one of the parents in the house, you just, I mean, statistics show you're more prone to do all kinds of shit, right? You're more prone to be in jail. You're more prone to get suspended from school. You're more prone to do all this shit. So, you know, and I tell my kids this too all the time, man. You know, when you run across someone that's doing something mean, they're bullying or they're being not so good of a person, you really have to look inside of them and think, well, why are they being like that, right? I mean, they may seem like some rich kid who's just spoiled, but deep down, that kid's probably got some issues, you know, some problems. So,
well, it is interesting about Chris D'Elia because now they're going through all the old podcasts. That's a dangerous thing about doing podcasts. Your shit's down forever. So, you know, who knows? Maybe drinking beer will be illegal one day and then arrest us. But fucking arrest me, you scumbags. But it's like
a Mexican and a white guy can't smoke Black and Milds.
Yeah, but it's fuck California, you never know. But anyways, it's he was on a podcast called The Fighter and the Kid. I love the podcast with Brian Callen and Brendan Schwab. I probably messed up his last name, whatever. But he was on there, a regular guest, and he was one of the top guests. He'd always get good views, I think, on that. He was just fucking funny. Him and Brian Callen going back and forth. But they were talking about Snapchat. It must have been when Snapchat just came out. I'm not sure. And they have a girl that helps them with like current events behind the camera, just like a Jamie, and she was talking about like how like someone like recorded Snapchat and had evidence on someone, and you see his face like wait. He's like, and he's never serious. He's like, wait, how'd they get it? Because of Snapchat. And they're like, well, they screen recorded. He's like, you could do it on Snapchat because Snapchat just deletes. Like, no, you could. People always screen record that shit all the time or just screenshot it. And he's like, first of all, how dumb are you? You don't know that. But he was just like,
I've done some stupid shit.
And so now everyone's like focusing on that, like, and get this, played in a show. I don't know what show. I didn't watch any of these shows. It was on Netflix or something. I don't know. Maybe with Whitney Cummings. I don't know. He's on a few different shows, but one of them he was a guy, pedophile, going after a 15-year-old. That's how this shit came out because some girl posted. Isn't that ironic? And showed all the shit she
on
had.
Snap.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dude, that's what's terrible.
But he was on a TV show. like on Netflix or something, playing a pedophile, an acting gig.
Oh, really?
And going after a 15-year-old. I think they pulled it now.
Wow.
I can't watch it, yeah.
Interesting. Well, dude, and it happens, man. Unfortunately, it fucking happens, dude, all the fucking time. And it's a fucking sad situation. You see the Epstein case, you know, and then these kids and these girls that are, you know, vulnerable and, you know, are poor and living in broken down families. And for someone to use that to their advantage is just fucking disgusting, man, in my opinion. You know, again, these are kids, man. They're not even fully developed in the brain yet. They don't even know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, they don't even know what's going on, man. And as a coach, as a parent, you know, as someone that's involved in my kid's school quite a bit, I feel like it's my job not only to educate these kids, but not preach to them, right? It's just you know, set some examples here and there, but also to call shit out, man. And even to become a coach, you have to fucking take all these training courses and stuff like that. And a lot of it is
that where they give you the khaki shorts? They give you like a package with a whistle and khaki shorts.
Yeah, exactly. And a clipboard. High
socks.
And a clipboard.
And a whistle.
Fuck no, that was 90s, Jay. They don't give you shit now.
Damn.
Fuck, teachers have to buy their own pencils and shit.
Times are rough.
But you know, it's you are a primary force in these kids' lives, right?
Yeah.
It's like parent, teacher, coach, right? And so you're the third most influential person in this kid's life. And there's a huge responsibility, again, to not only educate, but call shit out, man. If you see some dirty, grimy shit, call it out. And that's what we need to do better as a society, I think. You know, don't be Tekashi and start snitching out your homies, but...
Dude, basketball coach Don Prowlis, Lindsay, California, calling you out, bro. Like, I ended up liking the guy. Tough guy, but, like, he, at a basketball practice, I remember he pushed me so hard. And someone brought this up when I was in Lindsay this past weekend and said he pushed me on the ground. I don't remember that. I think maybe they remember that.
He was rough.
But he pushed me fucking hard, and I remember being like a young kid and be like, do I punch him? Because if I was another kid, I'd punch him. But like he's in charge, and like I remember being terrified. Like, what the fuck do I do? I'm embarrassed. Like, especially in Lindsay, if you get punked by someone, like someone else is gonna try you too. It's like a little mini high school prison. But man, like, and you hear tons of stories like that but at the same time, football coaches were throwing shit and hitting you, and it did. For me, there was a lot of positivity in it. But I think it was something about not being a basketball guy and trying out for the team. This motherfucker doing that. I didn't have any trust or faith in him.
Right. Well, and you love football. And, dude, the whistle to the helmet, ooh, that was the worst. Big old fucking ringing sound in your helmet for 3 hours.
Nah, man, slapping in the helmet and shit like that.
Yeah,
that
right.
Or grabs your face mask and yanks you around like a kid. You're like, motherfucker.
And is that okay? Right? And there's another fine line there, right? And actually,
I couldn't imagine doing that to a kid.
No,
but I was okay with it somehow.
Well,
Football.
and it's a growing experience, right? It's a tough sport. You got to be tough. You got to be manly. You got to be macho, right? And in basketball, Perales was a tough motherfucker. He would yell and he would scream. I got to like the guy too. You know, he's a cool dude. He coached me in volleyball too. So
had tons of Playboys at his house.
Oh yeah, collector of Playboys, absolutely. For the articles.
Yeah, I actually did end up liking him, but I was like, man, you know.
And dude, that's again,
Chris D'Elia's likable.
Right?
But you know Perales personally, so it's different, right?
Well, and
it shouldn't be.
That's another factor in that whole fucking scheme of things, man. And you know, as a coach of young girls, it's a whole different ballgame, right? You learn very quickly on that this is not like coaching boys. You know, I help coach boys and you know, volleyball and even basketball, young boys. You know, and it's a whole different ballgame, man. I mean, it's literally the way they bond, the way they work together, the way they compete is completely fucking different. Like, it's boys love to compete on a whim, right? You get a bunch of guys together, put them on a team. You got to beat that team. All right, let's fucking beat them, right? Girls are different. You got to get them in practice, and they got to bond, and they got to build this relationship, and then they compete, right? Boys are the opposite. They compete, and then they win or lose or whatever, and then they build this relationship. And it's a fucking interesting dynamic, man. And so, like you said, when you got pushed by Don Perales, you were scared. You didn't know what to do. You're a kid.
Angry.
You're right. You don't. Maybe I tell somebody. Maybe I don't. You just got pushed.
Well, I didn't want to get kicked off the team, but I regretted not like standing up for myself. But I was so young and not. If it was a football, it'd probably been a different story. But I wasn't confident in basketball.
But dude, you just got pushed.
Yeah.
Imagine he grabbed your ass.
Yeah.
Or pulled you into the locker room and tried to make a move on you. Like, imagine how scary and fucking.
How do you know that didn't happen, bro? No, just kidding.
No, well, fuck, who knows if it did or you know, but it's you can't even imagine what some of these young women go through, man.
Yeah,
it's fucking daunting. It really is, and there's no easy answer for it, unfortunately.
Have you heard some of this stuff personally, like coaching?
No. I've only been coaching.
Is there someone you're thinking about when you say this? Like, you can't imagine what girls go through. Like, what's your experience with that? Because you can't imagine what guys go through. Like, I know tons of guys that have been raped as a kid.
Right.
Not saying that girls don't, but I'm just saying it's weird just to be like, oh, believe all women. And I feel like you're kind of saying that. Like, you don't know what girls go through. I'm like, well, how do you know what girls go through?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure they go through way worse than men. I'm saying that right now. But
sure.
I just want to know where you're pulling that from.
Yeah, well, just statistics and reading. And you know, when I went to the Nobel Peace Prize Forum in Minneapolis, that's kind of the basis of what it was all about, was child trafficking and especially young women and in the States and in India. And it was just, I learned a lot about that. And in my college days, in the last year and a half of my college, I did a lot of research in this. And, you know, personal experience, I don't know anyone, to be honest, that has experienced anything like that, you know. And as a coach,
know one, but it was by another woman.
Interesting.
Jail, I think, yeah.
In jail?
Yeah. We were out shooting pool, and my old roommate at the time made a rape joke, and she didn't know him. She was just visiting in town, and the liquor was flowing. She went off on him.
Oh, shit.
And apparently she got raped by a bigger girl in jail or something.
Oh, dude, I bet you that shit happens all the time too.
Well, how about this? In the military, women all the time, but guess what? Men too.
Dude, and see, that's...
We know someone that's happened to.
That's a great argument to be made, man, because it does happen, right? And men also are not more prone to speak up, right? They feel ashamed, or maybe they just
that whole thing.
Yeah, right. That's a whole other factor, right? Exactly. So I'm sure it does happen a lot. You know, obviously not as much as what women go through, but it does fucking happen, man.
Well, and the difference is it's not like, you know, there are weak men out there that have a hard time defending themselves, and apparently the military is very crazy, both with women and men being raped. But women, I couldn't imagine like I don't know, like in high school when I was a freshman, and there's all those scary muscular Mexican dudes in the locker room, like half naked that were just like goatees and shit and tattoos. Like, why do 17-year-olds have goatees and tattoos? I don't know, Nick. But and also they're all doing roids, I think, at the time, and weightlifting like all the football players and shit. But like walking in there, I was terrified. I looked like a little kid. I was young for my grade already. Didn't even have fucking armpit hair, fucking squeaky little voice. Fuck, you see those? You just posted that picture of us. That was 1 year later. I was walking in that locker room, and like a little baby. And they noticed, and I remember being terrified. So, but imagine being a woman. That's your day to day.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't think you should be scared of men, but fuck, physically, that's the thing. Not all women. There's some badass women out there. My girl will fuck you up. But I couldn't imagine that feeling.
Yeah, right.
Constantly.
And, you know, and we can imagine it, but not. We would never know.
Feel it and
right. We would never understand it. Right. But you know, just knowing that it exists, and again, just knowing that if someone crosses that line, something's wrong with that person, right? I mean, because that's,
Does it depend on age? Like, if a 17-year-old kid rapes a girl, like, is he a rapist forever, or is he a kid that had a fucked up life? Like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's not right, but is, you know, he may be 35. Like, what the fuck I just had a bad parents. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I thought sex, so you take it.
Right.
My dad told me to take it. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
What's
either,
the answer
man.
to that?
Yeah, it's tough, man. And unfortunately that falls under the category of racial bias too. You know, I mean, look at the fucker, that college guy, something Brock or something like that. Do you remember that guy? He's a college guy, you know, had sex with this girl and like left her passed out behind a trash can in the alley.
Yeah.
And it's like, and of course, you know, she came out and said, well, fuck, you know, he raped me. I don't know what happened, you know, this and that. You know, dude got 6 months probation.
Ooh.
Yeah, white
no,
dude.
Fuck that.
White dude.
Fuck that. I think, so like I was talking about, like, what if a kid rapes at 17, comes from a bad family, rapes a girl? He's got to serve some time. He did the crime. Right. Serve time. Sorry, that's how life works. But at the same time, when he comes out of jail, is he still guilty?
Well, he would have to learn, right? Who the fuck wants to spend that much time in jail? Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Jail probably fucked him up more. He probably got raped in jail. Maybe he raped in jail. I don't know.
This is true.
Maybe nothing happened. But
yeah. So many factors involved in that, man. And that's why it's such a fucking broad topic, man. And who are we to talk about something so fucking huge only in the matter of what we think, right? But statistically, there's plenty of shit out there that people can read and brush up their knowledge on about.
Drop some knowledge right now. What statistic you got?
Well, no, I don't have any statistics, but
I used to hear 1 in 5 college girls got raped, and that statistic's been blown out of the water.
Well, and dude, just the matter of how many kids get kidnapped a year, right?
What's the number?
Or I don't know, but
it's 800,000 a year.
Is it?
Kids go missing in the United States alone.
Wow.
I'm sure it's higher in other countries.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and dude, I was going to talk about that earlier, and I'm glad you brought up other countries because I was telling my daughter, and of course I'm just messing around. We're sitting on the couch watching a movie, and I forget which movie it was, but I was thinking like, she's 13 years old, right? In another country, she would probably be getting married right now.
Yep.
Right? Like she would have an arranged marriage. She would be sold off to another family at this age. That's crazy.
Well, when I was talking about Instagram earlier and having these young fucking boys following us, it was weird. I'm sure some girls too, but I was noticing a lot of like high school kids and shit. Some kids look even junior high, maybe elementary school. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, man, I might be following these fuckers because I just follow all 40. I don't got time for this shit. But so I was like, oh, I wonder if I could. I don't know too much about Instagram. I know a little bit, but not a lot. But I went to the settings and you could adjust the age. It's like, well, fuck, let's get 18 on there. And I was even thinking bump it up to like 21 drinking age. But it's it also said 18 in the United States, and it said, or you could adjust it per country.
Wow.
Because different countries have different laws.
Interesting.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
But hey, I used to want to go. I've traveled. I've been to some crazy countries, and you observe things, and you hear stories of Peace Corps and people, the Peace Corps, I should say, and people saying that you have to just be prepared that you might see some shit that's normal there and not normal for you, which is maybe the police stop by a school and pick up some boys or girls and take off for a couple hours and come back and drop them off. And there's nothing in that country you could do about it.
Wow.
I hope they're doing something now with social media and stuff, but that shit happens more than we like to think.
Dude, fuck yeah, it does, man. And it happens in this country more than we'd like to say.
But it's legal there.
But it's
or ignored.
Or ignored, right, exactly. It's fucked up, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, I remember thinking about during the Peace Corps. I'm not saying this the deciding factor. There's other things, obviously, but I remember thinking, like, I can't physically see that and not do anything. So what, do I get arrested and beat the fuck all night or killed or something by these police? Like, I don't know how I could physically watch that and not do anything. Absolutely.
And you know what, as an anthropologist, that's a huge debate in anthropology, right? That's what we do. We go to different cultures and study them, right? And there's a part of anthropology that's called, what is it called? I don't know, but it's like advocate anthropology, right? So you're advocating for a certain group of people because you already know so much about this group of people. Why not help them with stuff that they may need? But it's the outsider looking in idea, right? Like, you're just an observer. You go to observe. You have to document what you see. You can't go in and try to change shit because you're just an observer, right? But should you? Should you, right? And who are we to go in and police someone else, right? And that's, a whole nother realm of conversation we get into. Like, as the United States of America, we feel like we are the police. We go into countries, the world police. We go into
America,
right?
Fuck yeah.
But as individuals and anthropologists, is that your responsibility, right? To go in and if you see something wrong, to try to change it? Or that's their culture, man. That's the way they're living. Everyone's living like that. That's a whole nother place. If you have a problem, go back home. I don't know.
Yeah, in episode 6, we talked about white missionaries. So
right,
going, I think what we're getting down to the nitty gritty here is like talking about Joey Diaz. Is that like Joey Diaz grew up fucking rough. I think he witnessed his mom get stabbed to death. They were selling drugs and never talked to the police in New York and New Jersey, and he grew up fucking rough. It's something he used to rob people. He would get robbed. Like, there was a certain Santeria was going around. Like, so and I've experienced in San Francisco. I talked about before. I always get called racist by white women, and I ask them, where'd you grow up? Because where I grew up? Because they're picturing some white suburban neighborhood, and I'm like, oh, just add Mexican to it, Lindsay, California, and I was a minority in that town, but it was not saying you can't be racist coming from that environment, but it's like, what's your expertise? Oh, you grew up there. Okay, I'm going to go home and look it up. And it's 9 times out of 10 some white fucking middle-class suburban neighborhood. And it's like, look, not everybody grew up like you. Some of this shit's fucking rough. The world is an ugly place. It's a beautiful place, but there's a lot of ugly. Go to fucking parts of India. Go to fucking parts of Brazil. Fucking go to parts of Africa. I've been to those places. I'm not an expert, but I've witnessed some shit that's like, fuck, this is some crazy shit. Then you get back to the States and like, oh, the president, Democrats and Republicans. Like, Jesus Christ, we're fucking spoiled. We're bored and spoiled.
Fuck yeah, we are. And bored is the more important part of that. But dude, people that are born and raised in San Francisco or other metropolitan places like that, they have no idea that the fucking food that supplies the world is grown fucking 3.5 hours down the road.
Central Valley gets no respect. I've heard coworkers say, not knowing where I was from, like, why do they build a stupid fucking train through the fucking valley? What a fucking dumbass farmers. And I heard people say, fucking valley full of dumbass white people. I'm like, shit. But if I would say it's a Mexican town, oh, those poor people. Oh, I'm like, so the white guy fuck him? Like, what? You guys are such jackasses, dude.
Dude, totally, man. But just the idea that you're just in a bubble, right? You don't even know what's outside of that world. All you know is your world, and you want to judge everyone else. That's a prejudice, man.
Well, most of the people in San Francisco aren't from San Francisco. That's the funny part. They're from different suburban neighborhoods, maybe around, or different states.
Right. But that's fucking leave Joey Diaz alone. Leave Joe Rogan alone. I mean, this shit happens all the fucking time. Politicians get away with this bullshit all the time. Our fucking own Governor Newsom is, had some charges, I don't know, back in 2012, 2014, and here he is, giving 12 o'clock fucking updates all the time. So
slicked hair back on the sides.
He's a gangster motherfucker. Again, I don't do politics. I liked him for the most part, but I don't know anything about him. I only liked him because, fuck, I don't know. I heard a couple things that he said that I liked, but yeah, I don't know anything about it. But when I heard like, oh yeah, he had this charge, sometime back, and he fought it and got away with it, it's like, well, it doesn't surprise me.
You don't do politics, but you know a lot about Trump, apparently, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So you know one side?
Well, no, I know a lot about shitty ass people.
Well, and he's the president, so he's the direct focus. He should be, at least.
Yeah, right. But absolutely. And it's not that I know anything, and he's not a politician anyway. So
did you know a lot about Obama, like when he was president? Mm-mm. So do you know more about Trump than Obama, do you think?
No, not really.
Similar.
I mean, as far as just the negative shit, right? Just the stuff that goes through my news feed all the fucking time, right? And with Obama, of course, there was a bunch of negative shit, but it wasn't negative. It was normal negative shit, right? It was like, oh, fucking, 1,000 insurgents in Iraq killed, women and children involved. Like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But that's like in our world, that's normal shit, right? We're in a war, shit happens like that. Yeah. With this guy, it's fucking dare. Oh, he paid off a porn star. Oh, fucking, he's fucking approving EPA violations and letting national parks fucking be drilled by these oil manufacturers and. Like, that's fucking shitty, man. So that's the kind of shit I read. I don't read into politics and shit like bills and things that get introduced and just the shit that I care about, right? And just the fact that, he's already fired fucking 20 people in his fucking cabinet because, they
probably more, right?
Or probably more, right? Because they disagree with them. Like, this is fucking crazy, man.
That one guy's writing a book, right? I don't know. I'm done with a lot of the stuff, but like someone's writing a book. Yeah, he fired.
But speaking of Gavin Newsom and
Nancy Pelosi.
Well, no, not Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But it's something I don't know about. But are we gonna shut down again, Jay?
It looks like it, man.
Fuck, dude. What the fuck? I'm gonna say this, and I realize the irony of saying this, sitting across from my buddy Jay here without a mask. But like, dude, we are basically like family. We spend a lot of time together. I think we respect each other enough to say. And actually, this did happen. You're maybe gonna be in a situation where there was a potential COVID-19 situation. You called me, let me know. We made the arrangements. You decided not to expose yourself to that, and so we had already talked about. Well, we can't do the public. We'll just have to Zoom podcast for 14 days, right? To just make sure everything's good. So we have a relationship like that. And I'm not saying you can't go to family's house and visit your brother, visit your sister, visit your mom. But fuck, dude. We're going to go shut down again.
I came to the point of view of that after spending, because we didn't go fucking anywhere, me and my girlfriend, when this shit went down. We worked from home, so we had that benefit, but we didn't fucking, we went to the grocery store. That's about it. We didn't drive our car, so we didn't get gas. We stayed inside, and we went fucking crazy. Like, and after a while, and especially when you're seeing the the White House changing their fucking mind every fucking 2 years. They're scared to say I don't know, which they would gain a lot more respect. If you meet someone that doesn't say I don't know and they're like, this is right, I know, this is right, I know, and you're like, well, tell me why it's right, because I have faith, whatever. It's like, you're lying to me. I have this false confidence. I lose value as a human that I should listen to. But Fauci came out and was like, remember, it was like, don't wear a mask, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear a mask. And it's like, he then came out a few weeks ago and was like, well, the reason I said don't wear a mask was because the doctors need a mask and everyone was buying them out. So I said, tell the mass public not to wear masks because they buy them. Wait, what? A lot of people that I tell that are like, oh, well, that makes sense. I'm like, fuck, hello? Like, think about that. You were lied to. So you're supposed to listen to this guy next week who might lie to you because of some situation with the doctors that we don't know about. No, I want to know. Cumio in New York was, Trump's not giving us ventilators. And then he got called out. Like, I heard he had a stockpile of ventilators. Well, we're saving that for the second wave. Bitch, you can't go on TV and say you need this many ventilators, you're not getting them, and then have a stockpile in your backyard. If I'm dying, I want that fucking ventilators, although they found out they don't really help. But right. What the fuck, dude? You got to give us all the information so we can make an opinion.
Yeah, three things.
I need some weed.
Yeah, well, first of all, that is obviously just exactly what they want to happen. But I think with the ventilator thing, I think I remember reading that they weren't even the proper ventilators. They like needed some other fucking apparatus to function properly. But also, fuck, Jay, I forgot there was another point you made there that I wanted to address. What were you talking about?
Fauci with the mask.
Oh yeah, Fauci with the mask. Not that I'd agree with that, but there was a time where I remember going to Home Depot looking for gloves and masks, and they didn't have shit. And that's exactly what they said. No, we've sent all our shit. Home Depot sent all their shit to hospitals and firefighters and police officers. So there was a time which is just fucking sad situation again, because we had fucking billions of dollars of military equipment in the streets during the protests, but our doctors and shit didn't have PPE. So I think there was probably a time where, there was a shortage of masks, and maybe we shouldn't have, stockpiled them so that way doctors and people can get them. But they're changing their fucking mind all the time, and it's annoying.
Well, not even change their mind. He flat out admitted to lying. He flat out said, I said this because of this. It's like, no, you got to give it. You're a government fucking official. Don't forget who's paying your fucking bills, bitch. You fucking tell us, and we make up our opinions. We need all the facts.
Of course we do, right? And who are we going to believe, though? And you look at Fauci, and you look at that other doctor, that woman doctor. I don't even know her name, but...
Don't get sexist, bro.
Dude, they're afraid of Trump. They can't even speak their mind. They can't even say what they really feel.
Hey, but guess what? Those three cops are just as guilty as the dude on top of George Floyd's neck, right? We talked about that. So he's got a responsibility as a fucking doctor and as fucking political person on TV to fucking... be straight. I don't give a fuck what you get fired. You get fired. Of course, you do the right thing.
Of course.
How are you gonna hold those cops accountable and not him?
But think about how many fucking people, you see it in the news all the time, dude. How many people are afraid of Trump, who pretend to have this loyalty to Trump, and because if they disagree with them, they're fucking gone. They're canned. Their name's ruined. They're fired. So, dude, and you see Trump talking on the podium, and you see these doctors in the background, like, fuck this motherfucker, dude. You know?
Do you see him when he stared at him? He's like.
Sure. Exactly to my point. It's like whatever these fuckers say, it's because they're just trying to fucking follow orders and not piss Trump off. And at the same time, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. This is a fucking unprecedented pandemic.
So no, he knew. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He said he knew what he was talking about. He chose not to release that information because he wanted face masks to get to the doctors instead of the public. I get it, but I don't get the lying. You should tell us that. It probably won't work, but guess what? Would you rather piss off Donald Trump, Daddy Donald Trump, who's signing your big check, Fauci, or would you fucking be honest to the American people that are paying taxes to keep this thing going?
It's going to be the former.
Right. I just don't get it, man. I don't get how not everyone's outraged about it.
Well, dude,
I just hear people defending it. I don't get it.
There's so many other things we should be outraged about, but all we know is, and this.
What do you mean? People losing their livelihood should be outraged. Losing their houses, their fucking businesses.
Oh, of course.
Their fucking grandparents. Like Jesus Christ.
Oh, dude, for sure.
If you're not outraged about being lied to during this pandemic, I don't know what else you should be outraged about.
So, do you think we should be wearing masks?
No, I don't think the masks do shit.
No,
I don't think they do. I'm no expert, but at this point, I'm like. Heart attacks kill a lot. Now, I'm no expert, and be honest, I kind of got sick of COVID and doing the research, but it's Jocko Wilkins was on Joe Rogan recently, and he was like, he wants to bring manufacturing. He's kind of like Kanye West. He's actually likes Kanye West, and I don't know if you listen to that podcast yet. Check out Joe Rogan, Jocko Wilkins.
Yeah,
he's a former Navy SEAL, does a lot of leadership things for businesses. Amazing guy, but he actually brought this Fauci thing up, but he was just talking about we hear Fauci say we need masks. We don't have enough masks, which first off, what the fuck? We're getting masks from different countries. What the fuck, America? But we need masks. So he calls this manufacturer factory. They build boots, like really nice boots here in America. And that's another cool story, but almost a lost art. He brought in retirees to teach 22-year-olds how to build homemade boots. They almost died off. And he's trying to keep that knowledge here. So anyways, but he was like, hey, I'm American, I'm Navy SEAL. I like to help. I want to bring manufacturing in America. I'm pro-America. Let's make some masks. Let's make some masks for these doctors and stuff, or for the general public. Let's get this going. And then he said 4 or 5 days later, Fauci's like, oh, masks don't do shit. Don't wear a mask. And then he calls them up. Hey, I guess we don't need to wear masks for my contacts. They said it doesn't really help. That's what they're getting from the upper ups. And then he said 4 or 5 days later, they say, wear a mask. So he calls them back. Guess we're wearing masks. And he says, to this day, I still don't fucking know. But we made about 100 or 200,000 masks and sent them out to hospitals.
Right.
But we have no idea what.
Well, dude, we got to look at other countries and what they're doing and the successes of other countries, right? Look at Asian countries like Singapore and Taiwan and these countries that require their citizens to wear masks all the time. And they're fucking doing great.
China would be the argument to that. So I posted something about that way back, and I was like, that's when I started wearing a mask. I'm like, oh, fuck. Their numbers dropped apparently from the reports, and they were all wearing masks. But China has been wearing masks, and Japan, a lot of Asian countries were wearing masks before COVID, which maybe is a good idea. I don't know. I'm not down with it.
Yeah, here we go, Jay.
I won't wear a fucking mask. But it's like they're covering the mouth. But it's interesting that in China, there's I believe in Beijing now, there's a huge fucking as of
outbreak.
A week or 2 weeks ago, it's a huge center now. So they're starting this same shit again, and they all wear masks.
Dude, mask makes sense to me, right?
It does, right?
I mean, if you cough, you can see there's slow motion videos online that you can watch, and you can see the cough fucking spread, and it's like, if you are standing in front of that person and that cough goes into your face, guess what? You take a breath, you're inhaling all that shit, right? So mask works on two fronts. It prevents all that shit from coming out of your mouth, and it prevents all that shit from going into someone else's mouth. Now, again, I think me and you sitting together, we normally do this every time anyways. Not such a big deal, but going to a ballpark, going to the mall, whatever, I don't trust those motherfuckers out there.
Can I drop some bro science right now? This is total bro science. Can you hand me another beer because I get ready for this bro science?
Yeah, okay, let's get ready for this bro science. I would also say I'm drinking Red Bull because I saw that this shit is 8%. Fuck. Shit's strong, Jay.
Such a pussy. I was drinking a beer at that Drake's Brewery. I told you it was fucking 18 or something. I felt it, though. I did feel it.
God damn.
I'm actually kind of a lightweight these days, but...
you want to bust out your sandal again?
Yeah. All right. Bro science. There you go, buddy. Little Reef.
Hey, thanks for sponsoring us, Reef.
Yeah, thanks for not sponsoring. I mean, you should sponsor us. Fucking sandals are expensive as fuck. And they slip off my feet all the time. But anyways, great company though. Sponsor us. Talk shit about their sandal. But bro science on your theory about spit. I get that too, but then I got stoned one night, and that's where bro science comes in.
Let's hear
it. You could drown, right? If you're underwater, too much water, and you're just standing there and water fills up above your head, you drown.
Right.
This is such bro science. And the weed's kicking in. But then so then you're just, it's dry, and you get a little drizzle. Ah, fuck, that's that water thing that could drown me. And then you get a little pour. And then it's drenched on you.
Right.
But you're not drowning. Is it the same with saliva? Even with the mask, some stuff is still being transferred through your eyes, through spit going through the mask if you're wearing the wrong mask. And so is it enough? And it seems not to be, from what I'm hearing. I only listen to Joe Rogan these days. But it seems to be that they said asymptomatic people, that was the whole reason, kids, that was the whole reason they go to schools and that. But it's what the fuck? Every kid. So what about flu? A teacher gets the flu, needs to make money to pay rent. And I'm just repeating what Joe Rogan said, goes into the class and works and gives everyone the flu, and we're cool with it. We're like, that happens all the time.
Yeah, because our kids are immunized.
Yeah, but okay, what about work? They do it at work every level.
Yeah, well,
retirement homes, people going with the flu to work because they got to make money. But with COVID, it's this whole different thing.
Well, we have a vaccine for flu, though. That's why.
But it still spreads and people get it and get sick, and some people die from it.
Oh, some people do die.
A lot of people die from it.
Yeah,
actually.
that's true. But the water thing, like the water's not contaminated, right? So
let's say it is, but you need enough to die.
Yeah, right. And I do think that, I mean, it can get in your eyes and shit like that, but more so, dude.
We're swapping spit right now, bro.
We are swapping spit. Yeah, we really are. And then fuck, dude, like.
So does a mask really eliminates a lot of that, but there's still some going through. So what's the number where it matters?
Well, and you know what, for me, as an auto detailer, right, I'm going into people's cars and shit. Mm-hmm. When this first launched, I fucking stopped working almost for a month, right? And I took 3 weeks off, a little over 3 weeks, and because I just wanted to figure shit out. Just like everyone, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? My interaction with people is very minimal. I get their key, and then I'm in their car for fucking 4 hours, right? So I wasn't really concerned, but if someone had it inside a car and then that it sits on the surface and then I go in there and wipe that off and then it's on my clothes and it's on me, like,
and apparently that's bullshit. Like,
right, and we found out more recently that, and dude, I was on CDC's website like once a week just trying to figure out, okay, what are they finding out? What's new? What's new?
You could trust them, right?
Of course.
WHO.
Yeah, right, all of them. And so now, you know, we're getting this second wave, it's called, but really it's the fucking first wave. We never even stopped this shit. It was still flowing. It's not like it ever fucking ended. So again, now going back to, I have to ask my clients, hey, has your vehicle been exposed to COVID-19? Have you or anyone you know been in there that has the virus? Because even though it might not live on surfaces, I ain't fucking taking that chance. That $350 ain't worth my fucking illness. Fuck that.
I have a question. So if you get pulled over during this COVID thing, you know, especially the beginning of it for a possible DUI, and the cop's like blowing this, you're like, COVID, not a good choice, sir.
You won't know until
Hell
you try.
nah, they're gonna stick that shit in your mouth. I don't give a fuck.
They're gonna put their mask on and be like, okay, now blow on it.
I also saw some like right-wing conspiracy guy I follow. I don't know why, and he shared something. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's that apparently if you have your concealed weapons permit, you're not allowed to have a gun while you're wearing a mask of any type or sort, because you could possibly do a robbery or something. So they try to keep that distant. So there's a conspiracy like this is attack on guns slowly but surely. They could arrest you for it, you know.
Of course, they're going to use everything they possibly can. Do you see those fuckers from Florida that went to their board meeting and were like saying why they're not going to wear masks? And like they've even developed these cards that like say like, oh, this is my doctor's card. Say, I have a doctor's note that said I don't have to wear a mask. Yeah. And it's like, it's all fabricated. It's all bullshit. But dude, they're going to do anything to not wear masks. And
well, you got one side saying, fuck that, I'm wearing a mask, more freedom. You got one side like, let's lock everyone into coffins underground 6 feet. It's safe there. It's like,
right. And dude, I think, again, we talked about this before and we went into detail about just fucking be blunt with us, man. Just fucking be straight with us. And we never get that in this country. That's what's fucked up.
We want to know if there's fucking aliens.
Right.
Well, they kind of told us recently.
Did they?
They officially
NASA
or the Navy or something. They released finally.
Navy.
The government released official flying objects. They have no idea what it is.
Get the fuck out of here! I don't believe none of that shit.
They know what it is.
They know what it is.
You don't think there's UFOs?
Oh fuck yeah! I believe there's people living in other fucking planets in this country in this galaxy. But the fact that they would tell us, fuck no.
Oh no. But let's change subjects here a bit. What about NASCAR? You hear what's going on with NASCAR?
Ooh, dude, yeah, Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace. Cool name, by the way.
Is that fucking awesome name?
That's like a Bobby Boucher, not Bobby Boucher or Ricky. What was it in
Ricky Bobby?
Ricky Bobby. Yeah. They weren't far off, were they? But those NASCAR names.
That's awesome. I never put those together. Jay.
What's his name? Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba, I love it. Bubba Gump. But he was the only black NASCAR driver.
Yeah, right. Which is in itself,
by the way,
fucking crazy. Right? Yeah. That would probably be the last sport I ever thought. And is it the last sport? It probably is the last sport that an African-American dude or a black dude entered. Is it? I never thought I would ever see that. And I'm not even into NASCAR, but
yeah, there's one black driver in all of NASCAR, apparently. I'm not a NASCAR fan. I think it's boring. Take another turn. Why one turn? It's boring. 500 laps. You got to be fucking kidding me. Sorry. It just seems crazy. I tried.
We're not going to tag NASCAR people in this post, I guess.
Yeah, but you got the NFL. How many black people are in the NFL?
Oh, dude, majority.
Yeah, probably over 50%, right? Probably 67. I don't know. Easily. So, and NASCAR's got this redneck stereotype connected to it. NFL's got this little more national West Coast, East Coast type vibe. NASCAR, they all rallied around this guy. They got it. He got in his car, and they predominantly white people and even their crews fucking marched with this dude.
You know what, Jay? I'm gonna take this back to, I think it was last episode or 2 episodes before that, and you say, you know, you see some rednecks that fucking, you know, you would look at them and think they're racist, right, or prejudiced, but they fucking dude, they know what's up. You know, they're family with black people. They you know, they live together. Yeah, right. So when I seen that, dude, I was like, damn, that's exactly what Jay was talking about. These fucking people, man, they know what's up. These are their brothers. These are their fellow athletes. They ain't about that shit, man. And that's cool, man. I was glad to see that. And in a sport that I thought that would fucking never happen. And even the owner, or the, I forget what he is, but he said, like,
he came out straight away.
He came out straight away and said, you know, about that news thing. When we find out who did it, they're fucking banned from NASCAR forever.
Well, and that's kind of like these redneck people are like that. They're fucking hardcore. They have their own personal justice, and I know they get a bad rap. And trust me, there are some racist rednecks out there. I've met those too. Don't get me wrong, but I think that it's just like the white guys, like, oh, like black kid's got baggy pants, fucking probably got a gun, and robbing. So you know, it's the same fucking thing. Oh, he's got a fucking Donald Trump hat or a fucking NASCAR hat, let's just say,
right,
and a Budweiser in his hand, and a beer koozie, and a fucking mullet. Like, fuck, that guy's probably racist. Fuck him. You know, and man, it's really hard to say those things until you like hung out with those people. And dude, I was surprised. I'll be honest. But more just happy because I was like, fuck yeah, like this is a correct way to handle the situation. And to be honest, it's even crazy because I don't know if it's a noose or not. I didn't do enough research. I heard it could pull down a door.
Right.
I kind of could see that happening too in the news, running with it. But at the same time, I could see someone putting a fucking noose there just to be an asshole.
For sure.
But NASCAR also had one driver walk away because they're going to ban the Confederate flag. Yeah. And did you hear he like walked off? And I think I don't know if it was fake, but like someone from NASCAR on Twitter, he's like, I'm leaving, fuck NASCAR today. He's like, bye, you weren't that great anyways or something. I don't know. I probably was bullshit, but it was like, yeah, get out of here. Fuck yeah. And I was like, you know, good. You know, I don't watch NASCAR. Don't even fucking know anyone there. But then I thought, where's the fucking NFL at? Dude, with absolutely. Colin Kaepernick, right? And then like they have predominantly black players. And they got black coaches, fucking Jay-Z involved in it. What the fuck is going on when NASCAR is handling a situation this way, and the NFL is just like, nope, right? Don't play. Don't play
fucking
later.
Point, dude. And that's a good fucking correlation, man, because that's so fucking true, man.
It immediately went through my head. I was like, where's the NFL at? Where you at?
It's sad, dude. And this is just taking a knee, right? I mean, what harm is that, right? I mean, but blowing it up and NFL has been accused of all kinds of shit over the years.
Really?
Of being racist. Fuck yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, Roger Goodell's a fucking prejudiced motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of flack over the years, and people call him out. Antonio Brown was the receiver, Des Bryant for the Cowboys. I mean, fuck the Cowboys owner. He's a fucking racist fucker too.
Yeah.
From Texas. Yeah. So there's a lot of that in the NFL, but the way NASCAR handled it was fucking, dude.
Bravo, NASCAR. Bravo. I don't know which one's the Bravo. But
Try them all.
Bravo, NASCAR. Hey! NASCAR.
Good job, Jay. That was a good choice.
I might start watching fucking NASCAR now.
Ooh, hey.
If you had left turns, is it right or left turns? If you had the other turn, I'll watch. Oh, that's called Formula One.
So you just got to make a number 8 instead of a circle.
And they crash in the middle.
So that was...
It's beautiful.
That was beautiful, man. It really was.
We needed that in the country.
Oh, dude, we totally needed that. And you know what, man? There's PR stunts, you know? I don't think this is one of them. Like, I honestly...
You believed it, right?
Maybe, yeah, I did believe it.
Even watching them hug, like, it felt real.
It did feel real.
I think there's a sixth sense where you could feel, like, when you hear Gavin Newsom or Trump say something, you're like, that's a lie.
Yeah, right.
And I think there's something you feel or vibe off of, and it's like, yeah, that feels... But you know what's funny? I watched the news clip. I'm laying the game because I don't watch NASCAR. I just heard about this shit, so I did a little research. And I watched that video, and they were showing the driver in there, but he had a mask on in the car. He eventually took it off, and I was just like, oh, is the white dude driving, then he gets out, then the black dude gets in? Or why are they showing this white dude? I guess it was him. I don't know. I was like, he looked white to me. So I was like, you know, and then he took his mask off. I was like, okay. But like, I was like, you know, like, where's the black guy?
Well, dude, and bring it back to the NFL. So Bubba Wallace is the driving factor to eliminate the Confederate flag in the NASCAR.
Was he? So he was outspoken about it or something?
Oh yeah. He's the one that came out with it and said, we got to do away with this. So
scary with an all white.
Exactly, dude. And he actually brought it up a couple years ago. And maybe it was a year. I heard an interview on NPR actually the other day.
Probably 2015.
And he said, I brought it up, but, it just wasn't the time. I brought it up. It kind of just fell on deaf ears. And it's like, this is kind of our fan base. We can't really mess with that, And he's like, okay, well, I feel comfortable here. Everybody treats me like family. I'm good. I'm just saying it's probably a bad idea. And here we are. And he's saying this was the right time. This was the right time for me to bring it back up and see what we can do to move forward about this. And to do that, like you said, in an all-white sport, takes balls. That takes balls, dude. But the response is what's just even more amazing, right? Because you do that in the NFL, you're getting blasted by everybody.
But do you see how good that felt? Like to see, like, why not NFL? Don't you want to fucking make people feel
Seriously,
good,
bro?
Don't you why not president? Don't you want people to feel good? Like that. Going back to that Jocko Wilkins podcast, we should just call this the review of Joe Rogan podcast. But like he said, like Joe Rogan's like, okay, what happened to George Floyd? You're president. What happens? He's like, okay. Immediately, I put out a Twitter, a response that says in 2 hours I'll be landing in fucking Minneapolis, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I want to hear from everybody. I'm going to be silent. I'm going to listen. I'm going to look at all the evidence, and then I'm going to come up and see what the fuck's going on over there. And it's like, yeah, that's what you should do as a leader.
That's what you should do.
But where was Trump? And I don't know. It's just why not feel good? And okay. The reason things are crazy is, George Floyd. There's a lot of George Floyds that happen
every day,
but doesn't get picked up. I think that we're going into November. It's an election year, and this happens every time there's election year, and it's been cranking even worse every 4 years. Worse. George Bush was bad. Obama was crazy, and it's just getting intense. And I'll be honest, Nick. I think it's because of election year, and everyone's fighting and arguing. And if you vote for Donald Trump, don't talk to me. We had a common friend approach us, not us, but me and my girl had someone approach us and, hey, I think you're conservative. Not true. I guess to them we are, but it's like, okay, not Trump supporters hate Trump.
Right.
And it's like, so with things going on, we felt like we should probably not reach out, something like this. And
oh shit. And they broke up with you guys?
And it was just like, me, I'm like, fuck later, but it was like, but we just want you to know that's cool. And we're cool conservatives and but if you do vote for Trump, I don't think you should. You should delete us, and we don't like. And it was just like, bitch, what? Like, first of all, I don't like Trump. Second of all, I'll vote for who the fuck I like to,
right?
Because that's the law. Mm-hmm. But I don't like Trump anyways. But it's like, even to hear that's like, bitch. And it was the same thing at the BLM walk when they're like, raise your fucking hands.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, okay. And I would talk about the nervous white people, including myself. But I didn't feel good about it, and I don't feel good about being forced into a thought process.
That's the biggest fucking problem with all this binary shit, right? You're fucking left. You're right. You're Democrat, you're Republican.
It's not right.
It's not natural. It's not natural, man. But media will make you do that. I got family members who fucking watch Fox News all day, every day, and having a conversation with those kind of people, it's not a great conversation, because I'm not saying I'm a genius or I'm smart or I know what's going on, but, again, that sixth sense, right? You kind of feel that you're being manipulated by the media. And if you can't see that, it's hard to open your mind to someone that does see it, right?
It's manufactured. It's definitely manufactured. And again, going back to that Jocko Wilkins I was trying to say earlier is that we got Donald Trump running again, very strong candidate to win. Mm-hmm. We got Joe Biden coming in, probably stronger now with the BLM movement and everything, but
interesting turn of events.
Can't complete a fucking sentence. I just saw something recently with him, and he messed it up, and it was in his own commercial. Terrible. Who's his director or whatever? But Jocko is calling on The Rock to run as an independent.
What?
Yeah, crazy. And he says, I know, when I heard it, I said, what? And he said, I know The Rock personally. He's a good dude. He's a great dude. And a lot of people don't know how good he is in business. Created very high level successful. This guy goes around and teaches leadership in business. Goes, very great businessman. Also has a platform, so I think it's a little easier, but he was like, and also the guy came over $7 in his pocket. We all know the story. I don't know the story.
Right.
I heard he's broke, mm-hmm. But he was like, he is such a good guy. But but at this point, if it comes down to Joe Biden, Trump, and The Rock, I'm going The Rock, baby. You smell where Jay's cooking. Seriously, bro. Fucking Rudy Poo's candy asses. Like, I know The Rock sounds crazy, but Biden and Trump sound even crazier to me.
You know what, Jay? That's all I was thinking while you were saying that was like, what the fuck, The Rock? The fact that you're even calling him The Rock and not Dwayne Johnson is enough to say.
I know. I want him to run as The Rock,
bro. Bad idea, you know. But when you put it on that platform, it's like The Rock, Trump, Joe Biden. It's like,
It does sound crazy. And like, I remember people suggesting that 4 years ago when Trump won, like, shut the fuck up. Or Oprah, like, shut the fuck up. But like, now I'm like, well, the Democrats came with Biden. That seems like rigged as fuck. God, you can't trust any of these motherfuckers. Trump's just a fucking 5-year-old on TV. Right. I was like, fuck, why not? And then Joe Rogan's calling for Jocko to run as vice president, which fucking Jocko should be running as president. But it's, I heard someone mention Jesse Ventura's name. Friend back home, I disagree. I was huge for Jesse Ventura like 4 to 8 years ago running. I think he's a little nutty now.
Is that conspiracy guy?
Jesse Ventura was let me get this right, I always say Michigan, but it's Minnesota governor. He was a WWF wrestler, became a Minnesota governor. Very kind of independent, and he always jokes and wrote a few books. He went and lived in Baja, Mexico, off the grid, like got in his RV and went down there with his wife and lived off the grid. And interesting dude. I like the dude a lot, but the last Joe Rogan I saw him on, I was like, ooh. I used to like him back in the day, but I think he's getting a little out there. But he's like apparently a member of the Mongols, and he's very proud to show it. He's an ex-Navy SEAL as well. But he talks about how prostitution should be legal, and if prostitution is legal, what's the difference between Joey Diaz getting fucking a blowjob and she getting on stage? You know, like, I think we can avoid a lot of these weird situations with prostitution legal, but
and law enforcement being crazy, you know.
Biden and Trump is not a good look.
No, that's not a good look at all. And I think about experience, right? Like, I think we're just getting too loose, man. You know, Trump was, he's a businessman, and I got that, right? Like, when, that was the rationale for a lot of people, is like, well, he's not a politician, he's a businessman, he knows what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't like the guy, but okay, I can see where you're going with that, right? But that's not enough, man. I think you got to know diplomatic relationships. You got to know who the fuck's over at the fucking in other countries at what are these called, where you have different United States not bases.
We had this exact conversation tonight. It was diplomats or embassies.
Yeah, like embassies, right? Like, I mean, you got to know about this shit, man. You got to know about foreign relationships.
But Nick, you don't, because guess who's president?
Right. Well,
a reality star.
And exactly, and it's not working.
But he does. But they're totally like, you need a guy. He's a millionaire's son, first of all, and not a guy that came up by his own bootstraps. Although people like to act like he did, because he had a small loan of $1 million from his father. Bullshit. That's a fuck. The fact that you say that's a small loan, that's a huge loan to me. I would love that. Like to have that right now. I'll take that small loan. Make it happen, Trump. You'll never get paid back. But I'll fucking buy Epstein's Island. I heard it's cheap right now. But fuck, I can't even step foot on the island. It'd be creepy. But anyways, yeah. It's like, I get it. It is absurd, but we're in an absurd time. Well, why not have a guy with a good heart?
Well, no. I agree. We definitely need a guy with a good heart, or a girl with a good heart. And to be honest, dude, women are powerful fucking creatures, man. And the fact that they're the countries that are being ran by women are being successful, and not only financially, but also dealing with COVID and all this shit. Like, they're fucking smart, man. And we've never had one here. Let's fucking give it a shot. Yeah,
I'm down for. Well, what if Hillary ran as an independent? She wouldn't. She's too embedded. But like, what would you be like? Still like, yeah, she's a woman. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that,
dude. Why not?
She's a murderer.
Who isn't? Which one of these?
I'm not.
Well, I'm not either. But
yeah, which those are two people. So what? Maybe you should be president then over her. Murder. This isn't fucking got drunk one night and crashed a car and got a DUI. This is fucking murder. I'm not saying she did it. I'm saying there's a weird history of the Clinton Foundation.
Well, of course.
What happened about 3 days ago?
Dude, they're embezzling money like crazy. That's already been proven. But Trump doesn't embezzle money?
Sure.
Right. Bush fucking did cocaine in his high school days, right? Like,
who cares?
They're all fucked up.
You can do cocaine in high school.
They're all fucked up, man.
I don't give a fuck.
Hillary is just like Obama, right? It's gonna take us back to
I like Obama better than Hillary.
This goes back to the fact. This is what I think. It doesn't even fucking matter, right? These fucking trillionaires and billionaires, these families, these ties, like, date back to fucking Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, I got my maps over there.
These motherfuckers are in charge. Yeah. President. They can make a few decisions here and there and send out a few tweets, but they ain't shit.
Well, what about so you okay? I gotta ask you. I'm trying to figure out Nick's brain because sometimes I'm confused by it.
Let's do it.
You got fucking The Rock against Hillary Clinton. Who you voting for?
Oh, that's a toughie.
Don't ash out on my
Sorry,
fucking Black
Jay.
and Mild.
I was. I thought you were done with it.
I was.
There's another one right there.
Technically, it's your
Jeez,
Black
that's
and
a
Mild.
tough one, man. I don't know. I have no idea.
The fucking Rock. If you smell what Jay's cooking, because bro, I'm just did that, bro. You're like looking at me like, what are you looking?
All right, that's it for us. Episode number 12 is a wrap. So thank you everyone for listening. What a great episode that was. And again, we just want to stress that we are not experts. We're just two motherfuckers bullshitting about some crazy ass shit that we
I'm an expert at not being an expert.
I think I am
counts.
too. Right, exactly. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this far. And please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thank you. Woo.